I agree. I feel like women enjoy being pursued more, but men like the chase. And like we have to recognize the difference between those two.
Yeah, when it comes to situationships in my past, I feel like I never formalized any relationship by having a conversation about it. Oh, aaj se main girlfriend, tum boyfriend.
What's your love language?
I delete texts, photos from like Instagram, Snapchat memories, everything.
That is so strong. The bill comes and I open my purse. I'm like, oh, let me pay. And there's like one lip balm, one lip gloss, and like a hair tie, mascara worn. Like, oh, no, let me pay. Oh, you're paid. That's fine.
But then I was delulu. So yeah, when it comes to situationships in my past, I feel like I never formalized any relationship by having a conversation about it. Oh, aaj se main girlfriend, tum boyfriend. And I struggled a lot with like defining a relationship. So to me, a relationship is something that affected me emotionally, and we were doing everything that you would do in a relationship. It just wasn't talked about concretely. So since like, you know, you asked me which one affected me the most, I think they all affect you in different ways, but I think the most foundational and important one to me would be the first one, because I think the first love really teaches you a lot. I mean, I knew what I wanted. I never clearly asked for it because I was always the kind of person, and I still am, like I want to give you what makes you happy. And if not putting a label makes you happy, I would still be with you.
Yeah.
But that's the biggest thing
So you knew that they don't want to put a label on it?
Sometimes yes, sometimes no, but because if you think about it, if in 6 months they're not putting a label on it, they
clearly don't
want to. Yeah, but then I was delulu. I was like, no, this will be we are together. What are you saying? I was pretending to be okay with something I wasn't, and like I also like used to act like there was a huge distinction in how I felt and how I reacted. Now I have that. Now if I feel something, I don't necessarily react that way. Back then there was no filter. If I felt like sending an essay, I would send an essay. If I felt like calling him 50 times, I called him 50 times.
I think the biggest thing we learned like in our first relationships or situationships is about our self-respect and like upholding the standards we have for a relationship.
Yes.
Like if I want this, you know, not compromising on those, and also just like being so open and available and accessible. Like the biggest thing I learned was that why should I give my energy so freely to this person and send them so many texts and chase them so much? Like we should not have to chase ever, right? Like we're not designed to do that. And I think when we're first learning how to be in a relationship, that desperation is also so off-putting for men at times. I think it's a fine balance between like showing interest and then impinging on like their space and being so suffocating towards them sometimes.
My learning also was to become like a full person yourself. That's why I call it the most significant. Like I didn't need a person to complete me. And that just, you know, after that I realized that after that I became more attractive, if you know what I mean. Like I didn't need anyone.
Exactly.
I am my own person, and you just add something to, and I want you there. It's not, don't mistake this as being like a cocky, you know. I would love, because you add like value to my life, but I don't need you. I'm a complete awesome person myself. But that took a lot of work, a lot of like self-reflection, all of that. And yeah, that's my answer. What about you?
Oh, I think Priyanka, you were gonna answer.
Sorry.
I just want to say, like, I think chasing a person or being too needy is just really like off-putting for men.
For sure. I think that's a men thing in general.
Even women, right?
Less so though. I agree. I feel like women enjoy being pursued more, but men like the chase. And like we have to recognize the difference between those two. That, okay, as a woman, there's a limit, like after which it's annoying. But otherwise, if you are showering me with adoration, love, obsession, like you know, really appreciating me, then that's not ever gonna put me off. However, I think in the case of men, like if we want to be smart and strategic about like building a good relationship, that you have to give a little push and pull. It's almost like a fun game of like, you know, cat and mouse a little bit. Like you have to give a little and then hold back, right? if they propose a date, oh no, I'm busy that day, you know, and come up with another time.
I don't agree with you at all.
Even if you're not busy, I'm very serious. Like, show them that they're not. Show them that
you're not available to them all the time.
You're not my only option. And you need to actually be on your toes. You need to prove to me that you are like kind of worth investing my time and energy, because it's precious.
Yeah. But I don't think you have to like show that. Like, if you have your life going on, if you're busy with work, that's going to happen on its own. So they know you are not available 100% of the time. So there are going to be times when you're busy and they just have to like figure out what they do.
That's true, actually. Maybe you should actually just be busy. Here I am, like, even if I'm not busy, I'm telling him I'm busy.
Yeah. For me, an interesting learning was, I don't know how I feel about this, but I'll tell you something a friend told me once. So I am very like, women can make the first move. It's okay. It doesn't matter. But a friend once told me after my latest like relationship, situationship, whatever. And she just went like, should be a little more feminine. What is this that you are going to pick up a boy for a date?
Yeah.
And I did that for the longest time. I would drive the car and like, and I did that for safety reasons, honestly. I didn't want to give my address to a new guy. Sure. But I also like driving. I never thought of it as emasculating to a man. But then she just said that it's not, but they would like it more if they were the ones doing it. And then my first reaction to that advice was like, I was so annoyed. I'm like, we are living in the 21st century. Who cares? Women can do this. But I followed her advice a little bit and it worked. So like, I mean, I hate agreeing to it.
Men want to feel needed. They want the chance to take you out and pamper you. And as like modern, progressive, like 21st century women, we're so empowered to do everything ourselves, and we're taught to like be independent, which is so amazing. Yeah. And yet it's maybe robbing them of the chance to like open the door sometimes, carry the heavy luggage. Yeah. Like, sure, like you want to help out, like that also makes them feel good, right? It's giving them a chance to be of service. And everybody likes helping their partner that they love.
Tapping into our feminine energy. I think that's absolutely really important.
And that doesn't have to be antithetical to like being a high-powered career woman, right? Like you don't have to be this like alpha dominating person all the time. Like you can still have a fulfilling career, but also be in your feminine energy.
Okay, I have a off-topic question though. How do you feel about like women paying on the first date? The reason I ask that is because I feel like I have a very interesting stance there. But I'll tell mine after you guys tell me yours.
Priyanka, why don't you go?
I would ask them. If they want to Dutch, but it's in a way that they know I don't want to do it. I'll ask one.
You're not gonna push it.
Never.
No.
Yeah.
But so you'll offer once when the
bill just like
so like let's play it out. Like a bill has come. What will you do? Here, ma'am. Say something, do something.
No, it like comes to the woman for the bill.
And that used to annoy me. I used to be like, I also make money. I also want to
come ask me for the bill.
And I'm like, just
go there.
Have you guys seen that Instagram trend where it's like the bill comes and I open my purse, I'm like, oh, let me pay, and there's like one lip balm, one lip gloss, and like a hair tie, mascara wand. Like, oh no, let me pay. Oh, you're paying. That's fine. Go ahead.
Yeah, but how do you feel about that?
I have a strong opinion, as you know, about paying on the first date. So connecting to this whole male and female energy, it's my opinion that the guy should pay on the first date. Up to a limit, and in general I have not ever even asked or offered to, unless it is the case where it's some like very exorbitant amount. Like I would say like, okay, 8K, 10K above, like then I might offer, but I would still expect him to, because he took me out, it was his initiative. And also I want to kind of once again like set the precedent that he is sort of in the provider role, that he is in like it sets the dynamic of the male-female energies right up at the top, right? Then later on, of course, I can pay whenever, like if we're in a serious relationship. But right at the beginning, I want to set the tone that like, you know, as a woman, like I do certain things in the dynamic of the relationship, and as a man, like you do certain things. So this might be problematic, but it also connects back to like the evolutionary origins that we had. Like if men in the earliest days were the hunters, the providers, the protectors, then that was somewhere hardwired into our DNA, and that continues to affect our relationship dynamics. So when you seek to overturn those.
Yeah.
My fear is that I don't want that guy to get into his like feminine energy and like to feel emasculated, like you
Just
said.
to play devil's advocate, but wouldn't somebody say that it's unfair? Why should I take, like, every time I take a woman out, why should I pay for that? And you also make money. We're in the 21st century.
And
What
also
would you?
They're like discussions that women are like feminists until it comes to like paying the bill.
Yeah.
Right.
But I'll tell you my view though there. So interestingly, I was always very like so strong-minded about, no, I'm gonna pay for myself no matter what. And over the years, and I've always been that way, that no, we're gonna go Dutch. But I realized a pattern in all the dates I have been on.
I'm
Wanna
like
go
that
on?
with my guy friends, so that
Yeah.
they know they're my friends.
Right. Exactly.
That's true, actually.
Weren't you were saying the other day that like if the date didn't go very well, then you're happy to pay because you're like, I don't care, like I'm not
Yeah.
gonna follow up anyways.
Interesting.
Like sure, you're my friend.
But
That's
then
a good way to friend zone.
But it's interesting because I may be very interested in you, but I would still go Dutch. So maybe that's not like a standard. That said, I'll tell you, like, my weird stance here is that if the bill comes, I'm gonna go Dutch and I will offer. But I want you to at least once say it's on me. But I will still say, no, let's go Dutch. But if you readily accept it, yeah.
So it's that balance between like really chivalrous, but also recognizing that you're an independent.
Yes,
and, like,
yes.
knowing that.
If he readily accepts it, like if I say I'm going Dutch, or if he, that I don't like. Like if he just opens and says, 800 tumhara, 800 mera. That like,
screw you.
no, like I'm anyway offering. You can see me reaching out to my
Don't
freaking
assume.
bag.
Don't
I-
assume.
That just feels cheap. I wouldn't do that to a friend also. You know what I mean? If I'm going out with a friend for dinner, and like I wouldn't just be like 800 tumhara, 800 mera. Like it's just something about it just pisses me off. Why don't you guys tell me about your funnest date or best like element of a memorable date? Why don't
So,
you tell? Okay,
no,
sorry.
I'll start.
Yeah.
I haven't been on many dates, and for me, it's not about the fancy dinners. For me, it's like not about, getting ready and going out partying. We order in some food, like I have good food to eat, and we're like having conversation. That's like the ideal date for me.
Quality time.
Yeah.
That's
That's
sweet.
so interesting.
What about you, Chandra?
Oh, I love special occasion dates. Like I love getting dressed up. Like playing dress up to me is one of my favorite things. And when a person gives me the option to do that and will be like, okay, like come and please dress up, right? It's gonna be somewhere fancy, right? And not tell me where. Like that really excites me. I have a couple in my mind that were really good, that were planned for me. Number one was like randomly, we just watched a movie and then he was dropping me home. He was driving like all the way back to Delhi and randomly like took a different turn and I was like, what's happening? Like, when are we going home? This is not the way. And he was like, oh, don't worry, like I know the way I got it. I was like, I'm sure this is not the way. Like mansplaining is also give you heights होती है. Like, I know how to
Gaslighting you. यही घर तो यही है हमारा. भूल गई.
my own address. No, so we take this turn and then like suddenly takes like another turn and like we are just like driving to the Taj Palace like driveway.
Oh, that's so sweet.
And I was like, what are we doing here? And he was like, don't worry about it. And we just like went in and he had like set up this like tea in the tea cafe, I guess, that they have, and it was really special. And I was like, my heart was so warmed and I was really enjoying the tea and the cookies and it was just like very, very special. And so I thought, okay, that's cool. Like we walked around a little bit on the grounds and we were just sitting there and then the waiter comes up with like this huge bunch of roses and like I just loved that.
Was there any occasion or just
No,
That's
there was
even
no
better.
occasion. There was none. Like that's the thing. Like I get flowers all the time. Like that's another thing. Like I really like that.
So sweet.
So
That's
that
more of
was,
an
like,
act
one
of
my
service though.
most, or like a gift. But that was like one of my most memorable times that sticks out in recent memory. Just because I think I have recency bias. So like I might have
More,
good
yeah.
dates
That's a
previously.
diplomatic disclaimer for you guys.
What about you?
I have a lot of stories because I've been on dating apps for a very long time, as you guys know. And on and off. And I mean, I may not have dated people, but I always believe like it's good to go out on dates, get to know, put yourself out there. Even if you don't find a partner, you'll just have a good time, meet a new person. So I have a lot of horror stories and some amazing ones. But like, I think the most thoughtful that I can think of right now would be, actually I was going to say something completely different, like a little instance tying back to our previous conversation where on my first date with actually my current partner, he insisted. Now again, it's not about the bill, but it was very sweet and chivalrous. He's just like, I got this, and there was just something so like attractive about that. I still GP'd it to him like a independent woman.
Just let him pay.
I know, but I really like that he did that. But anyway, the one I can think of would be, and I would like to believe I'm not that, like, oh, I'm not a cheesy, sappy person, Valentine's, type of person. But for Valentine's this year, like, I didn't do anything. Like, he planned everything. Like, a nice, elaborate, like a candlelit dinner at the Leela. It was so special. Like, everything he had. It was so sweet. Like, there were gifts. It was thoughtful. He came, picked me up. Yeah,
it's just so nice when they put a lot of effort into it and like a lot of thought.
And I was just like, okay, even just a year ago, I would have been like, how cringy and sappy is that? But I'm like, oh my God, this just made my year.
Sometimes it's about the person. Like, if it's the right person, then it's not cringy. Like, getting flowers all the time might be cringy.
Yeah.
It's cringy for sure. But it feels nice.
Yeah. Have you guys ever looked at your, texting history with maybe some exes and just been like, oh, what is this? Or like, oh, wow, I used to talk like that.
I think we all know Priyanka doesn't go back and look at old texts.
I don't keep any texts.
You delete them.
I delete their number. So, and obviously I don't remember
Everything gets wiped.
You block it also.
If I have to. If they like keep coming back, then I have to. Otherwise, I don't mind.
But you delete the number and the chat.
Yeah.
I have every chat since 2016. Even if it is my kaam wale bhaiya, or it's my ex, or it's mummy, or I have everything.
You're a hoarder.
I am.
Text hoarder.
No, I delete
No, I'm
photos.
a lawyer. Sorry. Evidence. Kabhi bhi nahi use
Documentation. Everything. In writing.
Yeah. I delete texts, photos from like Instagram, archives, Snapchat memories, everything.
That is so strong. I feel like what a, like, strong thing to do when you're getting over an ex is to just wipe
I was
it,
going through my chats before this screening and I just looked through like 3-4 of them and I was just like, I can't do this to myself. I cannot bear to read this. Like, it was cringy, some of them.
It's rough.
It is.
Yeah.
The
Our
only-
younger selves.
Yeah. Not so young also. It's embarrassing even then. Like, I'm just like, Shubhi, why did you write that? I'm sorry. But we all have to have that, like maybe Priyanka won't agree.
No,
But
that's how you know that you've grown so much.
Exactly.
right. But then I do think that even for a healthy relationship, or if a relationship is ending, it's healthy to get it out of the system also. Not all the time. Like, there's obviously a balance. So even a fully grown person, they're entitled to make their feelings heard and be acknowledged. I think it's an important part of the healing process. So
No, I mean, I've definitely gone back. I think it's very toxic to do that, and I don't recommend it. Like, if you're healing from a breakup, then every time I went back to look at them, like, my heart broke again. You kind of feel that. Sometimes it's like you want to feel that heartbreak. Like, okay, I really just want to like feel this pain right now.
Yeah.
But like, the more you do it, the more your brain also sort of strengthens those neural pathways of, yes, remember this person was important to you. And like, what I tried to do after my breakup too was really try and undo the neural pathways that even gives that person so much significance.
Yes.
Right? Like, so I was actually in a breakup. Interestingly, I was talking to a colleague of mine, like, not even a friend, like, but I was struggling. I was just going through it, and he told me that, today you're thinking about him every 5 minutes. Tomorrow you'll be doing something and you'll realize 15 minutes have passed and you didn't think about him. And then maybe, 2-3 months, maybe 6 months down the line, you'll realize,
once a day.
yeah, like the day went by, you were busy, you were with friends or family, and you're like, oh, okay, he crossed my mind just now at 8 p.m. at night.
Yeah.
A friend told me, you've like healed from a relationship when you hear a romantic song and you don't think of that person. Like, that's
like any romantic song.
yeah.
But like, I do think some songs just have memories attached to them, no matter what. Like, some songs are ruined for life, which is why I have a very weird policy, by the way.
Yeah.
Sorry. I just do not introduce my favorite music to people. I'm not joking.
Don't tarnish it,
I
please.
do not. Like, and only if they've crossed that level of ab to gayi main, then I tell them about it. Otherwise, I'm like, अच्छे खासे गाने खराब हो जाते पूरी जिंदगी भर. हमेशा ही
smart thing.
gatekeeping certain.
But I'll tell you another thing that I do. Now, I love Taylor Swift. And to the point where he can never listen to Taylor Swift without thinking of me.
Wow, that's some Pavlov right there. Conditioning.
It's like, ring, ring, Taylor Swift on Shubhi.
There are a lot of things that you start to associate with that person.
Yes.
So being able to listen to that song or any romantic song,
Yeah.
I think, like you said, like for a long time after the breakup, like any Janna Meria is like
generally
the story is about me and my life
Yeah.
and my breakup, and then suddenly one day, you know,
yeah.
sometimes the flip switches, or sometimes it's like a very gradual thing. Because it
Yeah.
varies from person to person.
Yeah.
What's your love language?
I'm gonna sound like a materialistic bee.
No.
Gifts.
I think gifts are an overly judged love
Yeah.
language.
But you what?
Yeah, it's not just receiving gifts. You love
Yeah.
to like
Give.
give. Yeah.
I know.
So how's that material? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So is it possible to like have a different love language to receive and give?
Then it's
Like,
not a love language if it's only love language.
Like supposing I feel loved in this particular way, but I actually express love in a very different way. Is it necessary that they are the same?
you can have multiple love languages, like
Yeah.
predominant. Like for
Got
me,
it.
it's not just one. You can have two dominant ones. More than two, probably not. I mean, but it's unlikely. I think. I mean, I'm not an
Love
expert,
language is
but
how you receive love.
Okay.
or even give, because how can you give or receive differently? I'm thinking of an
course
example.
you
Can
can.
you?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah. Like supposing, okay, so in my
I
case,
love receiving gifts, but I don't want to.
Exactly. So in my case, my love language is without a doubt like far and away words of affirmation. Like I'm a girly who like needs to be complimented. I like really appreciate like quality compliments. So like when I first started dating the person I'm seeing now, like I
But
really
you do that.
appreciated.
You also do that. I
That's
don't know if you also do that, and you may love getting gifts, which everyone does. But is that the best way for you to feel loved?
That was
Or is
just an
it
example.
quality
Mine is like quality.
No, I'm giving an example. Is that when you say love language, you feel loved in all five, but is that the best way you can make someone feel loved? I also love words of affirmation, but it's my weakest love language.
Yeah, it's definitely my strength. Like
Yeah.
I will literally like think about the compliment he gave me. Like, oh, you know, like he'll be really thoughtful about it. He'll be like, oh, the way your like eyebrows contrast against your skin is so interesting. Like
That's-
interesting, like thought provoking. I'm like, oh,
Sweet. I would just be like,
I've never thought about the color of my eyebrows until today.
how does that?
But,
Okay,
like, I think just
where's
that
my gift?
the attention to detail
Yeah.
of like you
Yeah.
have evaluated me so deeply and like looked at me
And said
so
it,
much that like
And it's reassuring.
this is
Like it's not just you're so hot. You're
exactly
really
like
looking-
I
so
like
beautiful.
thoughtful compliments for sure, and I've gotten a lot of
And not
those.
superficial ones. I get it. Yeah, but see, it's like, no, that's not my best. In fact, I'm working on it. Like, I'm not the best at saying,
Yeah.
you know.
So what do you do when your partner has a very different love language than you?
I think you should find a partner where you have similar
Really?
languages. I mean, you shouldn't look for it, but it works out better.
If you have the
But
same ones.
Similar ones, yeah.
Or
But
you
if
can
it's
just
not,
tell
then you
your
learn. Yeah.
Yeah, you can just tell your partner like this is how I want to.
I think the
this is
most-
what I appreciate.
And you learn theirs and
And you learn
try to love
theirs, of
them in
course.
that way.
Yeah.
Like love them in a way that they know how to receive it.
Yeah.
Basically. That's so important though. Like if you can define it and actually communicate it with your partner, like, no, I don't like thank you so much for all the gifts. Like that's not really doing it for me, you know. Like can you please spend like just leave your phone and spend some time with me. Right?
Yeah.
Like it's such a great way to make because obviously your partner also wants you to feel loved, but they may not know how the exact right way.